Welcome back to the channel, my fellow Port Charles addicts. Today is a beautiful Tuesday, but my mind is completely blown after that latest episode and I just had to jump on here and vent. Grab your coffee, your tea, or whatever gets you through the day, because we have a mountain of drama to unpack and I have opinions. I cannot believe they did that. I am literally sitting here typing furiously because my jaw's still on the floor from that ending. Ross Cullum chloroforming Liesel Obrecht in her car and dragging her unconscious body into the Wyndemere dungeon. What is happening? I mean, we all knew Sidwell and Cullum needed someone to finish Brit's project. But to actually ambush Mutter like that, it is so incredibly dark, and I am honestly here for the drama. But my heart is breaking for Liesel. And let's just talk about Jocelyn Jacks for a second. Because Jocelyn is just sitting there in that the miserable sub-basement cell, probably still fuming over Pascal, taunting her earlier. And suddenly, the heavy door swings open, and boom, Cullum just tosses an unconscious Liesel onto the floor. Jocelyn's reaction was everything. "What did you do to her?" she screamed. And you could just feel the panic in her voice. I know some people are loving this hostage storyline, but personally, I am so ready for Jocelyn to use those makeshift shivs Anna Devane left behind. But now, she has a new roommate. Jocelyn and Liesel are the captivity duo I never knew I needed, and I am praying they team up to destroy Cullum. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's back up to the absolute audacity of Jen Sidwell. Sidwell literally looks Cassius in the eye and tells him that locating Brit Westbourne is no longer a priority. Just like that. Cassius looked visibly disappointed, and honestly, he looked a little terrified, probably wondering if that was Sidwell's code word for Brit is dead. Sidwell is so cold, so calculating, and he just does not care about human life. He only cares about Cesar Faison's prototype. So now, because Brit is off the board and on the run with Rocco, Cullum has brought in the ultimate replacement, Liesel. Which brings us to the most agonizing part of this entire storyline. Cassius, aka the fake Nathan West, is going to have to face his mother. I've been watching since 2015, and the relationship between Liesel and Nathan was one of the most complex, beautiful, tragic things on this show. Liesel thought her son was miraculously back from the dead, but he's not. He's the secret twin that Cesar Faison hid away. Am I the only one who was absolutely dreading this confession scene? Cassius is going to have to stand in that cell, look at an awakened, confused, and probably terrified Liesel, and tell her that he has been deceiving everyone this whole time. He has to tell her that Nathan is still dead. Her heart is going to shatter into a million pieces. I am already crying just thinking about it. Kathleen Gotti's going to act the absolute house down in these scenes. I just know it. But part of me is so mad at the writers for putting Liesel through this again. Hasn't this woman suffered enough? First Brit goes missing, and now she loses Nathan all over again. Make it make sense. Okay, back to the point. Let's pivot to the other side of town, because Laura Collins and Sonny Corinthos are actually making some moves, and I am half celebrating and half complaining about how they are handling this. So, they cornered Pascal in the Corinthos coffee warehouse. They got Lucas Jones to use his grief over Marco Rios to break the butler, and they got the safe combination. It's a massive win. Laura took a moment to celebrate with Sonny, and it was nice to see them actually functioning as a team for once. But then Laura had to go and be the moral compass. She tells Sonny, "We have endured this nightmare together. Let's end it together." And she insists that they take Sidwell down legally. She explicitly tells Sonny she won't let him just kill Sidwell and pretend it didn't happen. And I'm just sitting here screaming at my screen, "Laura, let the mob boss do his job." I mean, Sidwell is a literal terrorist who shot Henry Dalton in cold blood and is holding people hostage at Wyndemere. Just let Sonny take him out. Sometimes I contradict myself because I love Laura's integrity, and I get that she is the mayor and wants justice. But Jen Sidwell is not the kind of guy you just hand over to the PCPD. Look at what happened with Ross Cullum. The man is running around chloroforming doctors. If Sonny doesn't put a bullet in Sidwell, this nightmare is never going to end. But fine, Laura has a plan, and she wants Sonny involved in the outcome. I just hope her legal strategy is bulletproof, because Sidwell is going to strike back hard when he realizes Pascal flipped. Speaking of legal strategies, can we please talk about Curtis Ashford? I am sorry, but I have absolutely zero sympathy for this man right now. Curtis is officially facing felony assault and battery charges because he completely lost his mind and attacked Isaiah Gannon in the Metro Court Gardens. And the worst part, Curtis is showing zero remorse. None. He is sitting there telling Michael that he might be in serious legal trouble, but he still acts like Isaiah deserved it. Because of Curtis, Isaiah's hand is destroyed. The man is a brilliant surgeon, and he might never be able to operate again. Derek's liver transplant is in jeopardy, and Curtis is just like, "Well, he wanted a fight, so I gave him one." Are you kidding me, Curtis? You are a grown man. You don't just deck someone because you're mad about a hit-and-run accusation. And now Isaiah is rightfully furious. He is giving his account to ADA Justine Turner, and he is clearly considering filing a massive civil suit against Curtis for lost wages, medical bills, and the potential end of his career. And what does Portia do? Portia actually goes to Isaiah, who is stern and impatient and in pain, and begs him to just hold off for now. Portia, honey, I love you. But stop defending your husband's toxic behavior. Isaiah is the victim here. Portia is trying to pump the brakes on the civil suit while Curtis preps for his criminal trial. But it just feels so unfair to Isaiah. And the absolute kicker, Curtis wants Alexis Davis to be his defense attorney. Alexis Davis. I actually laughed out loud when I heard that. Curtis wants the best lawyer in town to save him from a mess he entirely created with his own 2 fists. Will Alexis even take the case? I mean, she is dealing with so much right now with Kristina leaving, which we will get to in a second. But if Alexis takes this case, she is going to have to work miracles because ADA Justine Turner is not backing down and Jordan Ashford is staying out of it. Curtis better hope he can get a plea deal, but without any remorse, a judge is going to throw the book at him. And honestly, he kind of deserves it. Now let's talk about the younger crowd, because Trina Robinson is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders right now. Kai Taylor is hovering around her being super overprotective, and it is driving Trina crazy. Trina is throwing herself into these last-minute baby shower preparations for Portia, clearly using the party as a coping mechanism to avoid dealing with the fact that her stepdad might go to prison. Kai is pushing her to delegate, telling her she needs to take things off her plate. And while I get that Kai is just worried about her stress levels, he needs to back off a little bit. Trina has survived Esme Prince, she survived Victor Cassadine, she can survive planning a baby shower, but we all know this baby shower is going to be an absolute train wreck. Jordan has accepted the invitation, Portia is stressed to the max, and Curtis is facing felonies. I am fully expecting someone to throw a piece of cake at someone else's head. It is going to be explosive. And poor Trina is going to be caught right in the middle of it. Finally, we have to talk about the Davis girls, because I am still emotionally recovering from Kristina's bombshell. Kristina Corinthos Davis is officially leaving Port Charles to go to medical school at UCLA. I know we all saw the writing on the wall when Kate Mansi announced she was leaving the show, but it still hurts. I have loved Kristina's journey even when she was making terrible decisions. Kristina goes to GH and completely catches Lucas Jones off guard with her medical school plans. Lucas was stunned, and honestly so was I when she first announced it. Since when does Kristina want to be a doctor? But the way they tied it back to the tragic loss of her surrogate baby, it actually makes sense in a soapy, emotional way. She wants to honor that loss by saving lives. But Kristina has a special request for Lucas before she leaves. What could it be? Is she asking him to take over Charlie's pub? Because she can't exactly run a bar in Port Charles while studying anatomy in California. Or is she asking Lucas to keep an eye on Alexis and Sonny? Because her parents are going to be absolute wrecks when she leaves. They are still grieving Sam McCall, and now they are losing another daughter to the West Coast. The Davis family just cannot catch a break. So where does this leave us for the rest of the week? I am predicting absolute chaos. I think Liesl is going to wake up in that cell, hear Cassius's confession slap him across the face, and then immediately start plotting with Jocelyn to murder Ross Cullum. Because if there is one thing Liesl Obrecht does not tolerate, it is being held captive by lesser men. She and Jocelyn are going to be a lethal combination, and I am so here for it. I also predict that Curtis is going to lose his mind when Alexis either refuses his case or tells him he has to plead guilty. The arrogance of that man is going to be his downfall. And as for Laura and Sonny, I think Lucas's trap for Sidwell is going to backfire spectacularly. Sidwell is too smart, and Lucas is too reckless right now. Sonny is going to have to step in and do things the mob way, whether Laura likes it or not. I swear this show is going to give me an ulcer, but I cannot stop watching. The stakes are so high right now, and every single storyline is firing on all cylinders. What do you guys think? Am I being too harsh on Curtis? Do you think Liesl and Jocelyn are going to escape on their own? And please tell me I am not the only one crying over Kristina leaving. Drop your thoughts, because I definitely need to share this with people who get it. Until next time, stay soapy, my friends.